G'day. Cast your mind back to February last year. Pierre Gasly's career is on the rise. He's going to Red Bull. He's got that second seat and he's pumped. Well, come August of 2019, he's been demoted. He's gone from Red Bull back to AlphaTauri and his seat has gone to Alex Albon. Well, that was then and this is now, and the tables have certainly turned. But what's changed? Well, let's have a look. Compliments of Canity.com. What is the secret behind Pierre Gasly's resurgence? He certainly had a great year at AlphaTauri, but in order to work out why he's doing so well now, let's go back to last year. What went wrong at Red Bull? Simply a breakdown in communication. Pierre's working with 5 engineers at Red Bull, and they work very closely together. But understand that Pierre likes to be very involved in his car, down to the minute detail. So he was providing perhaps a greater level of feedback than his engineers really wanted. So you have this situation where Pierre's offering a lot of information. He wants to get down to the nitty-gritty because he thinks that's the best way for him to improve. His engineers are saying, look, we don't need quite that much information. So over a period of time, Pierre wanting more, engineers wanting to give less, there became a divide, and that gap grew slowly throughout the year. Red Bull says that Pierre didn't take direction well. So you have this situation where one side is saying this, the other side is saying that, and at some point it just becomes untenable. I recently asked my followers on Instagram what they thought the reasons were behind Pierre's resurgence and why he went so badly towards the end at Red Bull. And when you think about it, his results weren't too bad. What did he do? He did 12 races at Red Bull. His best was a 4th in Britain, scored 61 points, but the team were looking for more. Anyway, Marie comes back to me and says, I also think that Red Bull is a rather toxic environment for a young driver because of the amount of pressure that is placed on their shoulders. And there is, with no doubt, that there is a lot of pressure. When you go to a Red Bull team, they expect results. They've got a car that's capable of winning races, and they want to see their drivers there. And it was very clear that Pierre wasn't anywhere near max, just as Alex now is nowhere near max in terms of performance. Some people say that the Red Bull is just set up for max and very difficult for anyone else to drive. Well, I don't buy that. I think that's not the reason why. I think it's the confidence. And of course, once that confidence is gone, and remember, you're going around corners very fast here. You need to have 100% confidence in your car and the people behind you. And certainly, towards the end of his tenure last year, I would speak to him and his girlfriend Kate in the paddock, and I could just get this sense that he wasn't getting the support he was looking for at Red Bull. And remember that F1 is very much a team game. Yes, a driver sits in that car for, say, 90 minutes on a Sunday, but he is only one cog in that wheel. So after the 2019 Hungarian Grand Prix, Pierre's dumped. After the summer break, he returns to Spa for his first race back, and that must have been difficult, walking into the paddock. But more importantly, he's working with a group of engineers that he has greater trust with, that he feels more confident with, and they will listen to everything he needs. Of course, Alex went to Red Bull, took his seat, still there, and initially was working with the same 5 engineers, but at some point, 3 of those engineers were no longer there. In the second half of 2019, Pierre raced 9 times. His best was a 2nd in Brazil. I'll get to that in a short time. He scored 32 points, and that left him at the end of the year with a total of 93 points. But let's go back to that 2nd in Brazil. It was a great day for him. It was a surprise result, but without a doubt, it gave him a whole lot of confidence. And in Parc Fermé, after the race, I was watching him closely and photographing him, obviously. And I did note that he went straight over to, obviously, his guys. Then he went to the Red Bull guys. And even Helmut Marko gave him a great hug, which was lovely to see. But there was no hug from Christian Horner. And I don't think he even got a text message or a congratulation from the Red Bull team boss after that. So I'm suggesting there that perhaps their relationship isn't that good. So would he ever end up going back to Red Bull? I don't think so. I think that relationship has now disappeared for one reason or another, which often happens in life, and that's no real big deal. Another factor in Pierre's resurgence this year is the fact that he's still got the same team around him. Yes, he's got his engineers that he's worked with last year and this year at the track. He's got support from Franz Tost, the team principal, but importantly, his trainer, Pirou, is still with him. And in fact, Pirou and Pierre spent months together in Dubai when the COVID lockdown happened. Instead of going back to Rouen and staying at his family home, he decided he'd stay with Pirou in Dubai and work together. And he's still with the grid agency, and this is his manager, Guillaume Le Goff. It's a great relationship. The pair get on well. And without a doubt, Pierre is now a much more saleable item to sponsors because of his improved performance in the last 12 months. And if you're in business and you'd like to sharpen your staff's service skills, head to canity.com, the world's best online staff training platform. Hundreds of short, sharp training videos covering everything from handling angry customers to how to shine on video conferences. Canity.com. And prior to Imola, Pierre scored 82% of AlphaTauri's points. He is having a stellar year. So what did the stats say? Well, he's raced 13 races. He's sitting in 10th position on the championship table there. 63 points is his tally, and of course his best is a win at Monza. Now, without doubt, that would have elevated his confidence no end. So is he a better driver now? I don't think he's a much better driver. I think he's just a much more confident driver. And in this sport, you need that confidence. A short time back, I touched on the fact that Pierre is a more saleable asset commercially now. Is he popular? You bet. He's doubled his Instagram following in the last year. Well, big deal, you say. Well, think about this. That makes him a much more attractive proposition to sponsors. If he puts a post up talking about, say, Hawker's sunglasses, one of his personal sponsors, and it gets out to, 500,000 of his 1.3 million followers, that's a valuable thing. And Pierre would work into his sponsorship packages a value on those particular posts. 10,000, 20,000 euros a post. Who knows? It depends on how much impact they have. It also makes him more valuable to another team because, of course, he has an audience that they can then market to with their products and services. So let's say he ends up at Renault next year. Maybe some of Pierre's clients will become Renault buyers. And when you look at this sport, it's all about selling. Yes, there's a bit of driving involved, but it's entertainment and selling. That thing out there, that's bloody fire engines go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. So what has Pierre's resurgence done for his value, his brand value? Well, it's on the rise big time. He's also seen a big jump in interest from international media outlets wanting to do stories. And this year, I would expect to see him feature more on the Netflix series. And don't underestimate just how powerful that is when it comes to increasing the brand value of a driver like Pierre. And just before we finish, I want to go back to the first pictures I took of him, which was back in Malaysia in 2017. He was a clean-cut 20-year-old. And that year, he only raced 5 races. You remember he came in late in the season. He finished 21st, no points, and a 12th was his best finish. And just before we finish, I want to invite you to be more than a subscriber. Join as a member and support the channel here. You'll find that there's a whole host of benefits. You'll get discounts, you'll get monthly wallpapers, emojis, and more. Just click the join button, and if you can't see a join button, head here. You'll find all of my images at prostarpics.com. If you're after a Christmas gift, get one of these, an F1 driver's book. There's 23 photo books for you to get at kimillman.com. And for my best images and stories throughout the week, head to Instagram at kimillman. Thanks for watching and stay passionate. You can go now.